what is going on. Nobody is scared of anything anymore. No one is scared of the police. No one is scared. No, just nobody is scared. I just want to bring back fear in people. This is what the country has lost, fear. That's what I want. That would be my manifesto. Just Project Fear. Literally Judge Dredd. Because I just don't understand when we got into this space where everybody can, there's no rules. Everyone can just do what you want to do. But run free, kill people, rob, steal. People, and like, I was in Greg's the other day and someone was just in there stealing stuff. The stuff, understandably, didn't intervene because they're like, what, I'm going to bust my face for someone who's trying to steal a sausage roll? I'm fine. But they're not going to call the police because what's the police going to do?
I'm sorry. I have a big problem with Elsa. I think Elsa needs to grow a backbone, some responsibility for that action, and stop being a crybaby. Her sister, for me, is a much better becoming queen than she is. Her sister is.
Sister met somebody on the day party and said we're getting married. She's the more befitting queen. Really?
After he gets rejected, right? After Anna is rejected for 10 years, of course she's gonna run into the arms of any random man. She needs love and Anna's like, somebody love me, ain't gonna love me. And this prince was scheming for 10 years, knowing that my girl wants to build a snowman. He was like, let's go together. Of course she's gonna run into his arms. Welcome everyone to this episode of Pulling an All-Nighter podcast. I am Margaret and I'm joined by baby Dixon.
And I am Alice and I'm joined by Zariah.
Hi Zariah. In this episode, we will be talking about manifestos as we go into the election period in the UK. And also with the release of Inside Out, we're going to talk our versions of Disney and what we've been watching this week. If you have not watched an episode of Pulling an All-Nighter before, Pulling an All-Nighter is all about life, parenting, having a career, surviving on very, very little sleep. Our special guests always are little babies and the occasional toddler wandering in, or maybe a subject expert. So whether you're listening to this in the morning, afternoon, if you're pulling an all-nighter, we really hope you enjoy this episode. Alex, on the 22nd of May, Rishi Sunak called an election, which is happening on the 4th of July. If you were going to be Prime Minister and you were running a campaign, what would be in your manifesto? But before you answer the question, I'm going to give you some topic headings, which include health, education, economy, crime and policing, environment and immigration. Where do you want to start?
Okay, so firstly, the election caught me by surprise. I was not expecting an election to be called. And I remember that you rang me and was just like, oh my gosh, Alice, Rishi is about to announce an election. And I was thinking, no way. There is no way this man is going to just bring an election on us in July. Because I was thinking he was going to drag this out for as long as possible until the end of the year. So the fact that he got this done so quickly, I'm still in shock that we're actually going to poll on the 4th of July. So I still can't get over that bit.
I'm not surprised because it was the day that inflation, I think inflation or interest rates, the inflation went down to like whatever percent. It was 2% or 2.5%. It's not going to get any better than that. One of his promises was always going to be improvement on the economy. So when inflation reduces significantly, call the election. I can see where he was going with that. And also, how was it going to get any better at that point in time? I thought it was a downward situation at this point. We can.
Fair point. Fair. So ultimately, it's now got everyone scrambling around, trying to come up with their manifestos, what they're going to do, and just sell to the public. So it's a massive show that's been put on by everybody at the moment. And you know, like, it's that kind of keep calm and carry on thing. But everyone's, do you know, Swan? Like, everyone's trying to look all calm and collected. Underneath, everyone is just scrambling around, just screaming in the background, trying to figure it out. Just like this girl is screaming right now.
Just like Mariah is Mariah. Let me tell you what her manifesto is going to include. So Mariah, in regards to the economy, the Conservatives are planning to cut 17 billion in taxes, mainly to reduce the rate of national insurance. What would you do in regards to the economy to improve it? Are you cutting taxes? Are you putting them up, or are you doing anything else in regards to the economy?
So I'm not an economist, so I don't know what I would do for that. So that wouldn't be my top thing. I would leave that to somebody else in my team to figure that one out. But you know what my main thing is? I would want to feel the difference. So they're telling me that there's a 2.2, bless you,
Bless you.
reduction in taxes and stuff like that. I don't feel it until I'm back to paying 10p for a Freddo, or until I'm back to paying like them 90s prices for stuff. Then I don't know what is being reduced, because I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it in my shopping. I'm not feeling it in my mortgage. So for them to be claiming that, I don't know, because I'm not feeling it.
I don't necessarily think that, slashing taxes is going to help anybody out here. Because although you might slash taxes, actually, I would rather pay a bit more in my tax and then get a better service, in my opinion. I would rather put a little bit more into the NHS. I'd rather put a little bit more into council tax, just to make sure that my bins were getting collected, just to make sure that things were happening better. So I'm not necessarily feeling the tax cuts. But in regards to the economy, I think what I would do in regards to the economy is just look at the cost of living. Where is it that we can help the regular family out there? Like you said, how can we help them reduce their shopping? How are we going to help families who are on the breadline, or looking or going into food banks? What is it in our economy that we are going to have a look at that is going to help? So yes, like you said, you're not an economist, I'm not an economist, but there's definitely things that each party needs to think about. The regular person on the street, day to day, the regular man that they need to help with.
I also, and sorry, just in regards to that as well, because I think there is something massive around, obviously, families who are on the breadline and who are struggling. But I feel like there's also something around talking to the ones who are working class, where we fit in as well. And sometimes I just don't feel like anyone is talking to me. My husband, me, we work 9 to 5. We have a mortgage. I feel like actually we are just, it's all against us as well. So I just feel like everybody is just feeling it. I just want to feel my shopping's gone down.
Absolutely. Help.
And when I renew my mortgage, I don't want it to be an extra £500 on top.
What do in regards to health? I can tell you what Labour are pledging. So Labour is pledging another 40,000 new appointments a week to clear the backlog, plus more NHS technology in regards to dental health and toothbrushing for children. So 40,000 new appointments a week to clear the backlog in the NHS. What are you doing?
I would be, okay, so GPs, I'd be focusing on GPs as well, getting more people trained up to be GPs and actually keeping them there, because there is still that pull of going private. And I get that, because actually the money is there and it's less stressful. So I would be trying to get more students who are learning to be GPs, or whatever it is the qualification is. I would be trying to encourage them to stay as general practitioners, and I'd be making that a bit more worthwhile for them, because I feel like the average person would want to go to their GP more than sit in A&E hospitals. So I feel like I would start there, and be able to actually guarantee an appointment within a day 2 days maximum of calling your GP, you can get an appointment.
And I think that's fair, because I think going with the GP is important, because I think it's the first point of most people, the first point of access to the NHS. So therefore, making that first point of access really effective, I think there's something to be said for that, rather than you going through the entire process of, oh, I can't get a GP appointment, now I have to go to A&E, now I have to go to a specialist, now I feel like catching it at the first point of contact is really important. I also think there's something to be said about 111 and how effective that system is, because I feel like the response is usually, do you want to go to A&E? Babe, you give me some alternatives. And also the other thing is, I think the Conservatives have done this thing where you can now go to your pharmacist to talk to them. And I think that maybe needs to be like improved, or at least we need to do a bit more about that. But I sometimes also feel like the pharmacist is going to say, can you ring 111, please?
Yes, or at a GP. Because I've been to my pharmacist before, and their first question was, you can have gone to the GP. No, it's like I'm here.
Exactly. In regards to health, I think the first thing I want to do is, if it was my manifesto, I would just point back on, I'm going to go and negotiate with the nurses. I'm going to negotiate with the junior doctors. Is Soraya okay?
She's at that stage where she wants to recruit and sing. So I'm going to ask again.
This is why we run a podcast. We're starting to work. We can't do this in the office. Excuse me, love.
Lee? Can you select your child?
Get your child. So yes, I think so. In regards to health, my manifesto would be very clear about what I wanted to do in regards to the nurses and the doctors and their pay. We are losing some great nurses and some amazing doctors and incredible staff, junior doctors, to international places like Dubai, Australia, etc. My manifesto would clearly state how I am going to incentivize, keep, retain and train. And none of this airy-fairy stuff, well, we're going to write a plan. No, tell me what you're going to do. How much are you going to pay them? How much back pay are you going to give them? And do we need to increase our taxes in order to meet that? Yes or no? That's what I want you to put in my manifesto. So if it was me, that's where we're going with our health. Doctors, nurses, maternity wards, all of those people working in the NHS, how are we going to pay them?
Agree with that. 100% agree with that point. Yes.
Education. So the Lib Dems are offering a lifelong skills grant, $5,000 to spend on improving their skills, which is great. And the Greens would abolish Ofsted and end high stakes for formal testing. So they don't want Ofsted out there. They're probably going to find an alternative and scrap. They also want to scrap university tuition fees. So they're going bold. The Greens are going bold. How about you? What would you do in the education field?
Do you know what? I feel like with education, we need to kind of strip back and go back to basics. And I think we need to, once again, we need to start from encouraging people to take up teaching. And once you've become a teacher, actually let the head teachers be able to manage their schools properly. I think there's something around discipline and children feeling safe in school that needs to be revisited. So I would want to kind of give head teachers that free rein again to actually be able to control their schools. I love the whole idea of no phones in schools and everything like that, because I feel like that is such a distraction. Nobody is learning. And then you get students who are filming their teachers and it's a massive distraction. It's really just actually unsafe for students and for teachers particularly, because I don't want my face posted all over TikTok and people laughing at me while I'm telling you off for being an idiot in class. So there's something that is a massive one for me. So I think it's bringing respect back into the classroom and actually allowing head teachers to be able to implement discipline in schools. So, and I feel like that in order to do that, you need to be able to get more teachers in the classroom, and having the confidence back in education, because nothing worse than feeling not unsafe in your job, and you're not getting paid loads of money. I'm not getting paid loads of money to be here, and then you're trying to treat me like an idiot. I'm not doing it. Sorry. So that's a massive one for me. And also, when it comes to university, scrap the price of university. It should not cost this much. What students are now actually getting out of university in terms of the qualification, but then the work experience, it's not matching. So I'm going to university, I'm paying all this money, I'm coming out to barely anything. The two don't match. So it shouldn't cost that much, because actually I'm still not getting the leg up that I should be getting had I done an apprenticeship or had I done a work-based placement. The two aren't marrying together. So I would want that cut significantly, in order to justify, actually, if I leave, I know that I'm not left all load of debt.
How are you going to pay university staff if you're cutting the fees?
But the increase in fees isn't going to university staff, though. It wasn't going to university staff.
They
That's
they
not what
were they were striking the other day, to be fair, so they're getting paid.
it's not. It didn't benefit anyone. I don't. Well, not that I've seen anyway. You just hiked up the price because you wanted to, and you wanted to make it even more of a harder attainment for certain groups of people, I believe. And I think actually the whole point of when Labour came in years and years ago, when Tony Blair did the whole education manifesto, was so it would have it would give everybody an equal opportunity to access every aspect of education right through to university. So that's why it was priced at that price. Then the Conservatives and Lib Dem with their coalition came in and hiked it up straight away. And I just thought, actually, you're taking it back again. You're taking us back a step and making it once again something that only certain people can attain, and the rest of us get into trillions of debt for going there. It's not fair. It's very elitist, I think, anyway. So
As a result of cost of living, but also just because there are so many families who don't have that much money that can't feed their children before they come to school. So there are children going hungry in the classroom and in the school environment. But I do think they should be offering free school meals at breakfast time and free school meals after school for those children who are on free school meals, or maybe children who aren't on free school meals and are forgotten. Those children who are just not necessarily seen as hungry because they're children, because their parents earn just about enough. So I think free school meals would be an important thing for me for breakfast and just before dinner.
And in terms of that, do you mean because when you're reception to year 2, you get free school meals anyway? So you're talking about from year 3 right through to year 6 in primary school, everybody should have free school meals.
Absolutely.
Agree. I agree.
Breakfast as well. I think you don't get, my understanding is you don't get free school breakfast.
No. So in a lot of primary schools, so for example, in my children's primary schools, what they do is that they give you like snacks throughout the day, so access to fruit, and juices, or particularly water, throughout the day. But in terms of a breakfast, then no, it's only his nursery, like Ezzy's nursery, they give you a breakfast when you first come in. So sometimes they're eating cereal or toast and things like that, but that's because they're also based within a school. But I agree with you in terms of actually so many children come to school hungry, and without anything in the morning. How are you going to concentrate when you're hungry? So yeah.
I agree. So that's the first thing I would do. Promise breakfast and maybe dinners for every child who is on free school meals, but also every child who just wants to eat. Children sometimes just want to eat. Give them food. And then the next thing in my manifesto would just be in regards to improving standards in all classrooms. That sounds like a really broad thing, but I do think in regards to just, okay, let me say it this way. You can improve standards by building more schools and reducing amount of children in each classroom. I think that is really important. Not just, and I think that takes a lot of work because you have to find new teachers, you have to train new teachers, you have to build schools. And as you know, I'm a chartered surveyor. I know how long it takes to build a school. It takes approximately 3 years to build a school. So therefore, this is not something that's going to happen overnight. It will take from consultation to finding a site, to building the school, to appointing a head teacher, to doing the handover, to developing all of that stuff. It will take an average of 3 years to get planning permission to build a school. So I don't think it's a overnight thing, but I think if a politician or a team or a political party said, we will build some new schools, start training the teachers now and recruiting those teachers, and in 3.5 years' time, 4 years' time, you will see the benefits. And that is what they want to do. That would be my manifesto pledge for education.
Fair enough.
All right, the next thing is, what would you do in regards to immigration?
Oh, so this is a hard one.
Migration and immigration has gone up significantly in the last 3 years, 4 years. What's your manifesto saying?
See, I don't. All right. So in terms of migration, so I think there's something around people being able to come into this country. I think there's something around the people who are seeking safety, and people who are actually looking to just come and bring their skills, work, employment, everything else. So I don't know. I don't know. I think when it's a hard one because
It's not a hard one.
go on. What?
So the Conservatives' position is they are campaigning hard with a promise to put asylum seekers on flights departing to Rwanda. That's their raison d'etre.
Yeah.
That is their purpose. That's all they want to do. Labour has promised to cut the net immigration without saying hi. Other parties, such as Lib Dems, are promising safe and legal routes for asylum seekers. So Lib Dems and are promising safer routes for asylum seekers and visas from the Home Office. Plaid Cymru wants to introduce more safe routes as well for asylum seekers. My position is introduce safe routes how people can get here. At the moment, there is no safe route to come to the UK. Like you said, if you are fleeing from persecution and you are not safe, there is no safe route. The second thing that I would say regarding immigration is if people want to contribute to our economy, my understanding is that all the figures at the moment are saying that migrants and immigrants contribute more to our economy than they take out. Give them the work and let them do the work that we don't want to do. They will add value. I'm not saying all immigration is what we want, but I think the Home Office needs to slightly work a bit harder to process people's application. So I would actually put a lot of money into the Home Office to get people in there to process these applications properly. If someone shouldn't be in this country, then they should be deported if their asylum process isn't valid, and they should be moved out of this country to where they should be, not Rwanda, because that's not where they should be going to, but their own country or somewhere else, which is where they should be.
For me, this country was basically built on migrants and immigrants anyway, and the contribution from various corners of the world is extremely significant, and I feel like it continues to be. And there are a lot of, I mean, when we came out of the EU, there was a whole thing around actually people doing jobs. There were so many jobs that went unfilled because actually European people were coming to this country and doing those jobs, and now there's an issue in terms of filling those posts. But I think for me, there's always that thing of, within the UK, people want to go to other countries, and it's this beautiful, oh, we're expats and we're all of this, and it make it look all lovely and flowery. But when it's people coming here, it is a completely different picture. So I think there is something around changing the narrative when it comes to different people coming into the country. From in terms of actually where people have come to this country and they have committed really horrible crimes and done things that are not, that have been really concerning, or that they're committing crime and I think there needs to be a better system in keeping track of where people are and where they are going and staying. And I think that's where this whole government has fallen down, because there are a significant amount of people that nobody knows where they are. Nobody knows whether they've left the country, whether they're still here, where they're staying. There's no track on anybody. And I feel like for me, it just needs to start from actually, what is the system? When someone enters this country, whether it's on a boat, on a plane, wherever it is, what is the system in tracking somebody once they are here? And like you said before, when it comes to process them faster and make a decision on whether they should be here or whether they should be returned back to their country or returned wherever it is they're meant to be. I think there is something around the boat situation though, because it's not a safe route in. It's not a safe route.
Children are dying.
Exactly. Children are dying, men, women, people are just dying in that process. And it's such a shame that people feel so desperate that they have to come via that route. And I think there is something around, actually, we know what border it's coming from. Why isn't there more done at that border? Why isn't there something set up at that check?
We're not part of the EU anymore, so
And
I'm sorry.
But I think for me, that would be and I know that Keir Starmer has said something around checkpoints and something around that side and everything else. But I agree with him. I do think, actually, we know that is an unsafe route, and that is the route that people are coming from. So how do you manage that? It's not through sending them to Rwanda, because I agree with you. I don't feel like that is actually an appropriate way to do anything. But I do think there is something around, actually, where there is a concern, how do we get them here? How do we then get somebody here safely and make sure that they do have the support, they are integrated, they are supported, they are given an opportunity to contribute to the economy as well. But yeah.
I was just asking you a minute ago, how are you going to house these people? What schools are they going to go to? So speaking of housing, what would you do in your manifesto in regards to housing?
We just need to build affordable homes. I'm so tired of there being, everywhere I look, there's a new build. Everywhere I drive, there's a new build. When there's a new build on my front lawn, they might as well build a new build on my front lawn at this stage. I don't get it. There are so many new builds, but yet nobody can afford these places. No one can live there, because how am I getting the money to get this? So for housing, that councils just need to actually just take over some council and start doing council houses again. I don't know when it stopped happening, when councils stopped building houses, and then they took it to private landlords, and all these private companies are now managing it, and people are living in squalor and damp and like fungus growing in their house and all of this stuff. It's scary. So there needs to just let's start with more affordable housing. Let people be able to get a mortgage. How about that? And then they'll free up certain houses, and then everyone will be able to move up along the chain. At the moment, no one can move up along the chain.
I get that. My manifesto would actually be specific about building social housing. I think
That's
there's a lot of people who can't afford. I mean, like you said, there's a luxury apartment every two-step. Do a two-step.
Everyone owns a luxury apartment, allegedly. But yeah, I don't know anyone who lives in these apartments. Every person who I know that lives in any of these luxury built apartments.
Like, no more luxury apartments. Can we just build luxury social housing? where the council, whether the council built it or whoever built it, he'll just build more council homes, and like you said, affordable homes for people. And when they say affordable, I don't know what these rents are, because I'm thinking I can't afford these people's rent. I'm just saying. All right, crime and policing. What do you do in regards to crime and policing? This is the last one now. Make it good. Crime and policing. The Conservatives say that they will oversee the recruitment of 8,000 new police officers and a rollout of facial recognition technology, while Plaid Cymru is calling for the full devolution of policing power to Wales. What's your response?
When it comes to policing, this is multi-layered for me, because there is something around recruiting more police officers. I agree, we need more police officers, but not just any Tom, Dick and Harry. Sorry, we've been here before where we're recruiting people who are like 10 years old and they're too shook to do the job. They can't do the job. They've gone to training for like a month and then they're set out as police officers. That doesn't work for me. Sorry, I don't feel safe, and everyone is just going to mug you off as a police officer, and I don't like it. So we do need to recruit, but there's something around how do we get the experience of police officers? How do we make sure that the police officers that are recruited are experienced, they know what they're doing, or they're trained fully? And it's something around actually putting more time into the training that police officers get, and making sure that they know the job inside out. They're recruiting people from university to be investigating officers and stuff. What? How? You've not even done anything. You're completely just like a rookie, and then you're getting these big investigations. This is why crimes don't get solved. This is why nobody goes to the police when they get robbed on the road. Because who's gonna
remind you of Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine were more professional. They tried to solve stuff. They had jokes along the way, but they got the bust in the end. So yeah, I just think there's something. Let's put more time. We can recruit as many people as we want to, but actually, once they're in the job and they don't feel supported, they don't feel trained, they don't feel like actually they're even getting their foot in the door before it's all popping off, it's not going to work. So I think there needs to just be more time invested into fully training the police officers that do get recruited. So I would be putting a lot of focus on training police officers to do a better job. And also, where there is experience, let's use the experience. Let's listen to the police officers that have been there for years who are actually doing a good job, like my friend who is absolutely brilliant, and has so many ideas on how to improve policing. But there's so much red tape and people who have been in there too long that just don't want to do the job anymore anyway because they're so jaded. So yeah, I just think let's give our officers more time to train. Let's do more around knife crime and young people. I'm just not understanding what is going on. Nobody is scared of anything anymore. No one is scared of the police. No one is scared. No, just nobody is scared. I just want to bring back fear in people. This is what the country has lost, fear. That's what I want. That would be my manifesto. Just Project Fear. Literally Judge Dredd. Because I just don't understand when we got into this space where everybody there's no rules. Everyone can just do what you want to do. But run free, kill people, rob, steal. People, and like, I was in Greg's the other day and someone was just in there stealing stuff. The stuff, understandably, didn't intervene because they're like, what, I'm going to bust my face for someone who's trying to steal a sausage roll? I'm fine. But they're not going to call the police because what's the police going to do?
There's not even police.
This is it. Nothing is going to happen. So I just feel like we're literally just slowly getting into this thing where no one respects the police. No one is scared of anything. So yeah, everyone just do what you want to do. So sorry, I've just gone on a massive rant, but I don't fully know what the answer is. But do you know what I know what the answer is? People need to feel shook. Feel scared. be scared. So, however I can bring fear into people, that would be my manifesto. Because, nah,
I'm literally crying.
I-
There would be short on the crime section.
so I don't want everything in this world. I don't live in a world where I take this is what's in the fear. I understand, darling. You'll thank me later.
No, thank you everyone for listening to our manifesto pledges. We do encourage everybody to vote on the 4th of July. On a lighter note, after you've listened to our manifestos, this weekend, Inside Out 2 was released and it broke box office records over the weekend as it brought in an estimated 295 million around the world. It makes it the strongest global opening by an animated film of all time, and that's by Disney and Pixar. So, you saw the first one, didn't you?
I feel like I did. I can't remember a thing about the first one. I'm not even going to lie.
It was
I
really
can't remember
cool.
what it.
I really enjoyed it. Xavier really likes it, and she's watched it like 100 times. But while I was thinking about it, it made me think about our conversation that we had about Frozen.
Mhm.
And you were like, "Oh, you liked it." I was like, "I hate Frozen. I can't stand it."
Okay. So, for anyone who doesn't know, so Frozen is a Disney film. It's 2013, something like that. It was released. So it's been out for a little while. Um, and it's about a woman called Elsa.
Elsa.
Elsa and her sister Anna, and they're both princesses, right? And they live in a place called Arendelle. And what happened is that Elsa, who is the main character, she has these superpowers, and she can turn like the weather into snow and ice, right? Something like that. She can do snow and
Look,
ice with her
okay, no.
powers.
Her superpower is she gets mad and she freezes stuff. I'm just
Okay,
out there.
all right. All right. So ultimately, when they're kids, she hits her sister. Her sister gets hurt. They have to take her to make her feel better. They take her to some trolls. She feels better. They wipe her little sister's memory, and then the parents then tell Elsa, "Don't tell anybody about this. Don't talk about it. Basically, just lock yourself up and don't chat to nobody. And we're going to close the palace, and no one's going to come and see us." That was their solution to this. Okay. And then,
I'm questioning the parents. When you
okay,
get like that,
so they go die. They go and die at sea. Then, well, they died in a tragic accident at sea. Spoiler alert, they died in a tragic accident at sea. And then Elsa then has to become the queen, right? So, all right. So far, what is your beef with Elsa? Because Margaret specifically doesn't like Elsa, and I don't get what you don't like about her.
for me, it's the big sister role. You are the big sister, and your sister says, "Do you want to build a snowman?" And
Yes. Yeah.
it is. You know what? Saying is, you know what? You're the worst big sister in the world.
Okay. See, from Elsa's point of view, yeah, Elsa has been told by her parents. She also remembers the fact that she's hurt her little sister in the past. And then on top of it, your parents are all, "Don't tell no one. You're a terrible child. You're a terrible sister. Don't tell no one. What doves? Just live in your bedroom."
Your parents are dead. Go see a therapist. I'm
How?
sorry. No,
Where is
no, no, no.
therapist? No, no. There is no therapist. This is what, 1800s, I'm guessing. There is no therapist. It's what is it? Step off a lip, carry on. keep calm, carry on. So therefore, there is no one that she's going to talk to it to. And the only people she could speak to about it told her to shut up about it and then went and died. No offense, they then died. So she's then in this predicament of, actually, I'm now stuck with knowing what I've done, knowing what my superpower is, and then my silly sister wants to go build a snowman. I've got bigger problems to think about.
This is where I disagree. As the older sister, take some responsibility. And not just that, you are a queen to be. And all you want to do is lock yourself up in a room and just be like, oh, I'm so angry.
She's been told that her powers are going to hurt everybody. So lock yourself in the room.
I'm sorry. I have a big problem with Elsa. I think Elsa needs to grow a backbone, take responsibility for that action, and stop being a crybaby. Her sister, for me, is a much better becoming queen than she is. Her sister is.
Sister met somebody on the day party and said, we're getting married. She's the more befitting queen. Really?
After she gets rejected, right? After Anna is rejected for 10 years, of course she's going to run into the arms of any random man. She needs love and poor Anna's like, somebody love me, ain't gonna love me. And this prince was scheming for 10 years, knowing that my girl wants to build a snowman. He was like, let's do it together. Of course she's going to run into his arms. That's her bigger sister's fault, as far as I'm concerned. As far as the bigger sister, and I know, look, I am the bigger sister, as you know, and it comes with huge responsibilities. And okay, let's talk about another sister. If you talk about the sister in Encanto, the oldest sister, who's just like, I'm the strong one, I'm the right, fine, okay, I get it. The bigger sister's responsibility is huge, but I feel like Elsa did not help. She literally ignored her when she wanted to build a snowman. She then left the country. Hold on. She left the country cold. Then, when her sister runs after her, she then kills her.
No. You're spinning the story. You're spinning the story. Because she ran away from the country because her stupid sister was all, I want to think now. I told you you're not getting married. And then you want to be making a scene in front of everybody at the party about you want to get married to some random, and then now I have to rock you up and tell you you're not getting married, and now everyone can see my powers. So of course I'm going to disappear.
Alice, you've got anger issues. She should have said, "Sis, can we go into another room?" But no.
No. See, she tried. She was all, I'm going to speak to you about this. And then stupid sister was all, you can talk to me and the husband. We can talk to me and my future husband together. Hey, so you just met 10 minutes ago and you're telling me that me and you I could cheat with you together. You must. No.
Girl, manage your anger. And not just that, you've been sitting in that quiet room for long enough to reflect. Yeah. And reflect on what your parents said. Either way, enough about that. They are going to release the new Disney Lion King, by the way, which is about Simba's dad, Mufasa. Are you going to see it? Do you want to see it? Do you want to see it?
Sorry, just to quickly go back to...
Tell me one more thing to defend Elsa.
No, okay, no, I'm always going to back Elsa. But I want to hear other people's opinion on it. Whoever else has seen Frozen, please let us know what your thoughts are on this sisterhood and the divide, because me and Margaret clearly can't agree. We're backing separate sisters, but what sister did you back when you were watching this film? Because I don't get Margaret's beef with Elsa. But yeah, let us know. Anyways, back on to Lion King.
Let us know. You're right. Let us know.
So with Lion King, so I have no choice but to see Lion King because my son Ezreal is a massive fan of Lion King. He absolutely loves it. So this is the Beyonce Lion King. I'm just calling it Beyonce Lion King.
Beyonce Lion King was a remake of Lion King.
I know, but are you talking about
There's another one coming. There's one coming out soon.
I know, but not an animated version. You mean the real
I
life
don't
version?
know. I don't know what it is.
No, so yes, so there's a real life. So do you know that they did the real life version with Beyonce?
Yeah.
They're doing another one with Beyonce and Blue Ivy and another star-studded cast. I hated it. I absolutely hated it.
Me
I didn't know
too.
why. I, and I wanted to like it, but I don't know why we're doing this. I don't know why we're doing it again. I'm gonna be forced to go and pay my money and watch it because Ezzy loves it, but I don't know why we're doing a remake of Lion King. I don't get it.
Okay, but my understanding is the storyline is slightly different. We're talking about Simba's dad now. Now, Simba's dad, legend. I mean, he died way too soon in the movie. Way too soon. He died way too soon. So I want to talk about his
Origin story or something. I don't get it.
story. Who
Okay.
was he? How did he grow up? Who was his dad? What did his dad
How did
do
he even
to him?
start beef? That's what I want to know. I want to know what started the beef between him. Once again, we're going back to siblings. But I want to know what started the beef between Mufasa and Scar. That's what I want to know.
That's why I want to watch it. And then I'm wondering, he didn't act like Elsa. I bet you didn't act like Elsa. I bet you he tried to embrace his brother, but his brother was just bad mind, and that's why he got a scar. Youngins, listen to your elders in that case.
I do feel like Mufasa was the let's take the high road and let's be
Yeah.
friends. Mufasa is Anna in this, where Scar might kind of be the Elsa. But I don't want to say Elsa is a bad guy because Scar was a bad guy. Was just a bad guy.
Elsa is a bad guy.
She's she's a protagonist in this. Don't get it.
I'm just I'm just putting it out there. Like you said, let the people decide. Let the people decide. You write on
We
into us and let the people decide.
feel like we watch completely different films, but okay, cool.
Just
So
saying.
yes, see what the Lion King remake brings.
Thank you, everyone, so much for watching this episode of Pulling an All-Nighter. We hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. If you are up listening to this in the middle of the night, just know that there is somebody else out there who is pulling that all-nighter with you. Maybe they are doing an assignment, doing some homework, working on some coursework, doing a presentation for tomorrow. They've got a deadline, whatever they're doing. We are here with you and keeping you company. So thank you so much. You can catch us on all our social media handles, which will be in the description box. And thank you so much. Mwah.
Bye.